Okay, Urban Explorers, continue this little series of videos I'm doing to help people understand sort of what the terrain looks like today that's in the Cyclorama painting. So these are these four markers that I was talking about before. Well, there's three there, one's on the ground because some people have been knocking it over the last couple of weeks. But there's the MARTA station right there. I'm basically standing on the corner of DeKalb Avenue and Battery Street, or Battery Place, I guess it is. So here's the MARTA station right here. I was standing up there on that bridge doing the last video. And if let's just take a look at this. Let's read what's on this marker right here, because this really talks about what happened here. So the railroad cut, it says in 1864, a single track of the Georgia Railroad ran through a deep cut opposite this point. And opposite this point means on the other side of the MARTA station. Crossing it and the Decatur Road was the entrenched line of the Federal 15th Army Corps as of July 22nd. This was a sector of General McPherson, James McPherson's Army of the Tennessee, which occupied trenches vacated by General Cheatham's, which is a Confederate Army Corps, the previous night. In other words, the Confederates held this position the previous nights. They vacated it, which allowed McPherson's guys to come in. Cheatham's troops temporarily recovered the line here in the late afternoon of the 22nd, mostly by frontal assault, partly by penetrating it at the unguarded cut, an episode portrayed in the Cyclorama at Grant Park. Well, it's not at Grant Park anymore. We know it's at the Atlanta History Center. The ground was greatly altered after the war, but the railroad cut was still visible as late as 1903. Okay, that's not that recent, but that goes to show you that the battle took place in 1864. So this next one talks about Manigault. I won't go into too much, but Manigault was one of the Confederate generals that came up and was part of this attack, this frontal assault that they were talking about. He was part of Cheatham's Corps. And Manigault came up from just west of here. If you know where Springvale Park is, it's basically right in that direction, right that-a-way. This is DeKalb Avenue. Edgewood Avenue starts right there at the MARTA station on Hurt Street and runs parallel with DeKalb all the way down to, well, all the way to downtown. But just about half a mile west of here is a little place called Springvale Park. So Manigault and his men regrouped in Springvale Park before coming out later in that afternoon and were part of this frontal assault on the on the railroad cut, but also the DeGrasse Battery. And that's why this is called Battery Place, and the next one is called DeGrasse Avenue. So again, let me pan around here. My point of this, the punchline of this entire video series, is that everything you see here in these videos is the core battlefield. We are standing, I'm talking on top. This entire MARTA parking lot would have been just massive hand-to-hand combat. This is the scene that's depicted in the Cyclorama. So when you go to visit the Cyclorama, either on the behind-the-scenes tours, which we're doing, or later when it opens at the Atlanta History Center, just remember that where the Inman Park MARTA station is today, the Inman Park MARTA station parking lot, the MARTA line, all of these homes in Inman Park, this is Battery Place, DeGrasse Avenue, all of Hurt Street, basically all of Edgewood Avenue, Wiley Street, even almost as far over as Wiley Street, but certainly over there on Walthall and all through Wade Street, Hardy Street, all those streets in Reynoldstown. That is the core battlefield. That literally is what was depicted in the Battle of Atlanta, seen in the Cyclorama. This is Steve Signs with Urban Explorers of Atlanta.